We are keeping a close eye on a brush fire that is burning right now. Those high winds that John has mentioned are fanning an 8,000-acre brush fire that started in eastern New Mexico late yesterday afternoon. It's burning along Highway 508 between Portales and Lovington, not far from the Texas state line. So far, no structures have been threatened and no word on how it started. But again, we are keeping a close eye on this 8,000 brush fire burning right now in eastern New Mexico. In other news this morning, the man shot in the Albuquerque foothills Sunday night by APD has died.
And right now, police are not saying a whole lot about what happened out there. Here is what we do know, though. Late Sunday afternoon, APD open space officers got a call about an illegal camper. The police chief, Gordon Eden, says when the officers got to the area here near Copper and Tramway, the man confronted them and threatened their lives. A neighbor recorded cell phone video of someone pointing and screaming at police. Take a look at this.
I'm gonna hunt you down and kill you. That's my personal promise.
APD's crisis intervention team was called out and a standoff went on for hours till it got dark. Chief Eden says police first tried non-lethal force, then a shot was fired. Neighbors say they heard several shots. We do know the man was hit. He died at UNM Hospital yesterday. Well, before a county worker was accused of stealing thousands of dollars in an extensive gas card scheme, he had a long list of arrests under his belt. Bernalillo County says it did not do a background check on Nicholas Jones here back in 2009 when he was hired as a temporary groundskeeper. He was later promoted within the Parks and Rec Department. Then last week, deputies arrested the convicted felon and accused him of stealing a county vehicle and using county gas cards to pump people's gas in exchange for cash. Jones, we are told, racked up about $6,500 in gas card charges. His rap sheet, we found out, includes charges for armed robbery, battery, shoplifting, and car theft. And the county never knew this before he was hired.
He did such a great job as a temporary employee that he earned an opportunity as a full-time employee. And so he just rolled into that full-time position and there wasn't a background check done at that time.
The county has changed its fuel policy. Workers are now required to gas up at one of the county's on-site fueling stations.
An APD aviation officer who was seriously hurt in a suspected DWI crash is doing better. Officer Robert Dilly was headed home from work on March 7th when another vehicle rear-ended his Jeep, forcing it to roll. Dilly suffered a broken neck and head injuries. His family says his condition is stabilizing. The accused drunk driver was arrested. She is now out on bond. Turns out Texas, Arizona, and Nevada are not Albuquerque's only competition for the Tesla battery factory. The Las Cruces Sun News says Doña Ana County is also working to woo Tesla to Las Cruces. State Economic Development Secretary John Varela says only that his agency is trying to get Tesla to come to New Mexico, period. The multi-billion-dollar factory is expected to employ about 6,500 people.
The federal government is extending Lockheed Martin's contract to run Sandia National Labs, but that could change in 2 years. The current contract, which is set to expire at the end of the month, will be extended for at least 2 more years. The National Nuclear Security Administration says it's waiting on studies on how to improve management at the labs before it lets other companies bid on the contract. Lockheed Martin has run Sandia for 20 years. It says a contract extension offers stability for the labs and its workers. In the market for a job, a private security organization is hiring in Albuquerque today. A big hiring event is going on from 9 to 1 at New Mexico Workforce Connection on Mountain Road Northeast. G4S Secure Solutions has 25 immediate openings for custom protection security officers. Be sure to dress appropriately and bring your resume.
A bipartisan effort is underway in Congress to change the way the U.S. funds the fight against wildfires. Usually during fire season, money set aside for forest thinning and other fire prevention efforts is siphoned to pay for the biggest fires out there. But now President Obama's proposed budget would prevent that from happening. Lawmakers say they're working on an idea to use natural disaster funds instead to help fight the biggest wildfires. The Roswell Zoo is fighting to save the offspring of 2 bald eagles. The female has laid 5 eggs while in captivity with the help of her male partner. The animal curator at the Roswell Spring River Zoo says it is extremely uncommon for eagles to lay that many eggs, especially in captivity. Officials suspect these are the only captive eagle eggs in the country right now.
The public thinks it's great. I think it's great. You know, that shows me that our keepers are doing a great job and that these birds are comfortable and they're healthy.
If the eggs are fertile, they're expected to hatch around the 27th of the month. The parent birds will nurse them for a while, then they will most likely be released into the wild.
A movie featuring a horse from right here in New Mexico, an underdog that won the Kentucky Derby, will be trotting its way to the big screen this week.
He's a 2-year-old thoroughbred. James, mind that bird.
I don't think he's what you're after.
Let's give him a try.
Okay.
A wild little horse there. The cast and filmmakers from the flick 50 to 1 started a tour yesterday to promote the movie. Mind That Bird was a horse owned by a group down in Roswell that pulled off one of the greatest upsets in Derby history. They're going to stop in Albuquerque for tomorrow's world premiere at the Chemo Theater.